Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Deep Dive. This is where we take real information, the articles, the reports, all that essential knowledge, and we turn it into practical insight that you can use right away. I am so glad you are here with us, especially today. We're about to start a deep dive that is, well, it's just so crucial for your professional life. We're talking about practical, real English, the kind you actually use at work. And we're going to focus on clarity, on simplicity, and I think most importantly, on confidence. This deep dive is designed for you, for our dedicated listeners, and the whole community over at the English Uncut channel. Our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want your English to stop feeling like, like some kind of stressful test. We want it to start feeling like a tool, an indispensable functional tool that you use every day. We're going to try and shortcut that whole process from confusion to real competence. So I have a question for you. Right now, wherever you're listening, maybe you're on your way to work or getting ready for a meeting, how often do you feel tired just by looking at a long English report? I mean, even before you read the first sentence, be honest. If the answer is often, or even just sometimes, then you are in exactly the right place. We are going to dismantle that feeling today and replace it with a clear, simple strategy. But before we jump in, please just take a moment right now. If you find this lesson valuable, if it helps you feel even a little more confident, please like this deep dive, subscribe to the English Uncut channel, and share this with your friends, your family, your coworkers. We really do not want anyone to miss out. And to guide us through this absolutely vital material, I am so delighted to introduce our expert, an incredible instructor known for a really warm voice, a super clear teaching style, and a focus on, real-life application. Thank you so much for joining us to tackle the challenge of workplace English.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here, and I could not agree more with the mission. We're really tackling what I think is the greatest hurdle for professional English learners. Our goal is simple. It's to shift your mindset about English.
Okay, a mindset shift. I like that.
Exactly. We want to move it from something you study for a test, where, perfection is the enemy, to something you use, a functional daily tool where communication is the only thing that matters.
Communication, not perfection.
Right. And that means we focus only on simple professional language, not that complex dictionary-level vocabulary.
Yeah.
The goal is to sound effective, professional, and clear. Not perfect.
Effective and clear. That really is the perfect mantra for the modern workplace. Okay, let's unpack this. We have a great stack of material here covering everything from reading strategy to polite small talk. Let's start right at the beginning in section 1, because I think this is where the panic really starts for a lot of people. So let's set the scene. It's a really common one that I know every single one of our listeners has faced.
I can already feel it.
Right. You open your computer, you see a notification for a new document, and attached is, say, a 10-page English report. And the title is something like, A Comprehensive Analysis of Q4 2024 Market Penetration and Resource Allocation Metrics.
Oh, well.
Instantly, you just feel that tightening in your chest. You feel overwhelmed. What is the critical mistake people make right in that first minute?
The critical mistake is the one you already know deep down. It's the slow, word-by-word approach.
Right, starting at line 1, word 1.
Exactly. People treat that 10-page report like it's a novel or some piece of academic literature. They start at the first word and try to absorb and translate everything perfectly. But here's the core truth you have to accept to change your whole approach. Reports are tools.
Just tools, not literature.
They're just informational instruments. They're designed to communicate necessary data. They are not novels designed for you to, absorb every dramatic detail. The goal of reading that report is communication in action, not perfection.
That completely reframes the task. If I'm just looking for information to take action, then I don't need to read it like I'm studying for an exam.
You don't.
So if we shouldn't read word by word, what is the first physical action we should take when that document opens? How do we, get some control back?
The first, and I think the most powerful action, isn't reading at all. It's scanning.
Scanning.
Yes. We use scanning strategically to get the initial 60% of the report's main idea almost immediately, and with very little effort. That 60% is your framework.
Okay, so break that down for us. What does scanning actually look like in practice?
Well, action number 1 is purely visual. You look only at the title, and then you look only at the major headings first.
It's just the title and the headings.
That's it. Just those two elements. The title tells you the subject, the headings show you the structure. That will give you about 60% of the main idea right there.
Let's try that with that scary title from before. Post-implementation review of cloud migration and expected infrastructure savings, Q1, Q2. And let's say the headings are Phase 1, technical challenges, then Phase 2, user adoption rates, and maybe future cost projections and recommendations.
Wonderful. Now, just stop and think about what you already know, just from that scan.
Okay, well, I know it's about moving to the cloud and saving money.
Right.
And I know it's broken into three parts. First, the problems. Second, how people are using it. And third, the future plan and the money part.
Exactly. You have the map, you have the scope, and all the main topics before you've even read a single paragraph. You know exactly where to find the answers you'll need later.
That really does reduce the anxiety because I'm not facing a wall of text anymore. It's an organized structure. I have a destination.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You have the map before you even start driving.
Uh-huh.
And then comes action number 2. You read the introduction or the summary section slowly, very carefully.
So this is the one part we do read word by word.
This is the only part that deserves that kind of attention. And the reason is simple. This section is designed to explain why the report exists. It gives you the context, the mission, and often the conclusion right at the start.
Ah, I see. So once your brain knows the purpose, the rest is just details.
It's just justification.
Yeah.
And that's much, much easier to process.
Okay, that's how we attack the structure. Now, let's talk about the next mental step, which our source material says is the second huge mistake. This obsession with understanding every single word.
Yes.
This is honestly probably the greatest source of frustration for English learners everywhere.
It's what I call the dictionary trap. And it is a productivity killer. You're reading, you see one word you don't know, and immediately your flow is broken.
You stop.
You stop, you panic, you reach for the dictionary or open a new tab, then you read 5 different definitions, you forget the original sentence, and you have to go back and restart the whole paragraph.
And 10 minutes later, you've read 2 sentences and you feel exhausted.
Exactly. And that's why we need to really reinforce this next point.
Okay.
You need to internalize this core truth.
Yeah.
You do not need 100% understanding to understand the main idea.
Let's repeat that. You do not need 100%.
In the professional world, functional English is what matters. At work, your boss, your colleagues, they only care if you get the central idea, the gist.
Yeah.
They want you to be able to summarize the outcome. They genuinely do not care if you know the exact definition of some technical word that only appears once.
This shifts the mindset completely from academic perfection to practical function. So if we see a word we don't know, which will happen, what's the advice? Instead of just stopping and panicking.
You have to use the context principle. This is your survival skill. When you see a word you don't know, you force yourself to look at the sentence before it and the sentence after it.
So use the surrounding information.
Use the context to make an educated guess about the meaning.
But how do we guess reliably? That feels risky. What's a simple tool we can use to make that guess fast and, pretty effective?
Here is the simple trick. We call it the clarity test. Just ask yourself one very, very simple question. Is this word positive, negative, or neutral?
That's it. Just positive, negative, or neutral.
That distinction alone will save you so much time and, frankly, so much sanity. For example, imagine a paragraph about a new product launch. It's using words like success, high demand, record profits.
Okay, so it's all positive.
Right. Then you see an unfamiliar verb like accelerate. You don't need the exact definition. You already know from the positive context that accelerate must mean things are getting faster or better. You know the direction is positive.
That's powerful. It's like you're training your brain to keep driving toward the destination instead of stopping to inspect every single signpost.
Exactly. You're just looking for the direction of travel. If a paragraph talks about budget cuts, product flaws, customer complaints, you know the direction is negative.
And if it's about improvement, success, growth, it's positive.
Exactly. This helps you grasp, say, 80% of the meaning, which is more than enough for 80% of your professional tasks.
Now that we know we're looking for that direction, let's identify some of those crucial road signs. What are the most common signal words in business reports? The ones that show results, numbers, or actions.
Yes, we have to focus on these result verbs and action nouns. They are the drivers of the report. We should go through them slowly because they're essential for quickly getting the data.
Okay, let's do it.
Listen carefully. I'll say the word and then explain its core meaning. First, increase. This means something went up, it grew, or became larger. For example, sales increased by 5%.
Simple enough. Up.
Second, decrease. The opposite. Something went down, it shrank, or became smaller. Customer complaints decreased after the update.
Oh, got it.
Third is improve. It's a critical one. It means something got better in quality or performance. It's a positive change. System reliability improved significantly.
Okay, so those three, increase, decrease, improve, they're like the backbone of any performance review. What about the nouns that signal the outcome?
The nouns are just as important. Next is result. This is the final outcome, the effect of an action. The result of the campaign was higher user engagement.
The end product.
And finally, trend. A trend describes the general direction things are moving over a period of time. It's not one event, it's a pattern. The current trend suggests a shift toward remote work.
I have a question here. For our more advanced learners, can you quickly explain the difference between two similar verbs, like increase versus accelerate? Does that subtle difference really matter in a report?
That's a great question, and yes, it does matter subtly. Increase is generally just a simple change in quantity more of something, but accelerate implies speed, momentum.
So it's not just increasing, it's increasing faster.
Exactly. When a report uses accelerate, it suggests that the change itself is picking up speed. For example, we saw an increase in sales, and this rate of growth is starting to accelerate. Understanding that little difference shows a more thoughtful analysis.
Okay, let's analyze a specific phrase that uses these words and is, well, a professional necessity, according to the data.
Yes. That phrase, according to the data, or according to the report, is the perfect professional opening. Let's break down what it means and how to use it.
Okay.
When you read or say, according to the data, it simply means based on the information we have, or the data says. It's a professional, objective way to introduce evidence. It shows you're not just giving your personal opinion.
Let's put that in a scenario. Imagine this sentence in a quarterly review. According to the report, customer satisfaction improved dramatically after the new product update.
Let's analyze that using our new skills. You have the professional opener, according to the report. You have the positive result word, improved. The main idea is crystal clear. The update worked, customers are happier. You don't need to know what dramatically means perfectly. From the context, it just means a lot.
So the core relationship is clear. New product led to improvement. That's the function of the sentence.
And that is all your boss needs to know. It proves we don't need advanced vocabulary to get the core message and present it with confidence.
So true. And this brings us back to the enemy, the dictionary trap. We've established that checking the dictionary breaks your focus and trains your brain to panic.
Right.
So what's the practical strategy? How do we physically resist that urge to stop and look up a word?
The strategy is very systematic. When you find a word you just can't figure out from the context, do not stop reading.
Okay.
Simply write the word down, maybe in the margin of the paper or on a notepad, and then you check it later, only after you've finished the whole section or the whole report.
So you acknowledge it, but you don't let it stop you.
Yes, it's a crucial mental exercise. You have to train your brain to guess, move on, and catch the overall flow. This is how native speakers learn contextually as children. They guess, they make mistakes, and they correct later. You have to give yourself permission to guess and move on.
I really like that idea of writing it down. It feels like you're putting the word in a parking lot to deal with later.
Exactly. Real progress happens in that moment of controlled discomfort. You're teaching your brain that the single word is less important than the overall message.
Which leads us perfectly to our first definitive challenge for you, the listener. How do you start doing this tomorrow?
The learner challenge is this. The next time you sit down to read any English document at work, an email, a report, anything, give yourself a strict rule.
Yeah.
For the first 10 minutes, you are not allowed to check the dictionary.
No lookups at all.
Not one. Just read for the gist, use the headings, use the summary, use the context, use the positive-negative test. And if you feel a moment of discomfort or anxiety, good.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Embrace it. That feeling is the signal that you are learning, that your real-life skills are growing. You are training your brain to think like a professional who prioritizes the outcome, not like a student who prioritizes a perfect definition.
That's a brilliant way to start building confidence right away. So we've covered how to read faster and smarter. Okay, let's transition from consumption reading to production, which is writing. Now that we know how to pull the key information out of a report, how do we turn that into a quick, clear update for a boss or a coworker?
This transition is where your professional reputation is truly built. It goes right back to our core value, speed and clarity.
Right.
In a fast-paced workplace, nobody wants a long email. They don't want a novel, as we say. A summary has to be useful. And useful means it respects the reader's time by being very, very short.
I love that. Respecting their time.
Think of it this way. If it took you 25 minutes to read the detailed report, your summary should take the reader about 25 seconds, to scan and understand. That's your metric for success.
25 seconds. That's a fantastic metric. So to help our listeners avoid that panic of a blank page, we need a simple, repeatable formula. Let's introduce this simple three-step summary structure.
This is the formula. It's professional, it's universal, and it results in exactly 3 or 4 sentences total. It's instantly efficient.
Okay, step one.
Step 1. Topic or purpose. Always one single sentence. You state clearly and directly what the report is about. It sets the expectation immediately.
And what's the best opening phrase for that? We want something reliable.
Use the simple, direct opening. This report shows. It is reliable, clear, and professional. Let's practice that slowly. Listen, and then repeat it in your head. This report shows. So, for example, this report shows the sales performance in September and October. Short, direct, tells the reader everything they need to know in a few seconds.
Perfect. That sets the stage. Now, step 2.
Step 2. Key results or outcomes. This should be 1, maybe 2 sentences at most. You focus only on the headline numbers or the main changes. Leave the details for later.
And we should use those result verbs we practiced.
Exactly. Use words like increased, went up, or decreased. For example, sales increased by 10% compared to August. Or most users are happy with the new design, but system performance decreased slightly. It's all action-oriented.
So no getting lost in the details, just the big numbers that drive decisions. And finally, the most critical part, step 3.
Step 3. Next steps. One single sentence, but it's the most professional sentence you can write.
Why is it the most professional?
Because it shows you're looking forward, not just backward. You speak the plan or the action that needs to happen next.
Proactive.
Exactly. For example, next, we plan to expand our marketing campaign into Europe. Or, we will fix the small bugs in the interface by Friday. The key phrases are next, or starting with we will, or we plan to. It signals clear forward motion.
That structure is incredibly solid. Topic, results, next steps. But if we just put those 3 sentences together, it might sound a little robotic.
It can. That's why we need to introduce connecting words to link the ideas and create a smoother flow. Words like however, also, or in addition.
Right, transition words.
They're essential. They stop the summary from sounding like 3 separate thoughts. They link the ideas logically, which makes you sound organized.
Let's focus on one of the most useful ones.
However.
However is a classic contrast word. It signals to the reader, okay, I just gave you a positive point, but now I'm going to introduce a challenge.
Okay, give us an example. Let's say we have our positive result. Sales went up this quarter, and now we add the contrast. However, customer support requests also increased.
That, however, tells the reader immediately, there's good news, but there's also a problem we need to look at. It connects the success to the challenge in one smooth thought. That feels so much more professional.
It does. Now let's try in addition. This signals you're adding another point that supports the first. For example, the team exceeded its goals. In addition, the project was delivered under budget. Using these words makes your writing sound organized and logical.
Okay, so we have the structure and the flow. Let's talk about professional tone in email updates. When we send this 3-sentence summary, how do we make sure the language is polite, but still simple?
The tone is everything. You need to be polite, but politeness doesn't mean long, complex sentences. You want to sound engaged and professional.
Let's practice some key opening phrases for that.
Okay, let's practice 2 that signal a short, useful message is coming. Listen and repeat them slowly. I just wanted to share an update. Here's a quick summary of today's progress.
Those sound so natural and common. They really respect the reader's time. And what about closing? You called it the polite open door.
Exactly, the polite open door. These closing phrases invite feedback without demanding a response. They're simple, polite, and professional.
Okay, let's hear them.
Practice these 2 slowly. Please let me know if you have any questions. This is the standard, safest, and most polite closing, and happy to discuss further. This one is a little more casual, but still very professional. It shows you're available and confident.
Both sound friendly and professional. They conclude the summary, but keep the conversation open.
That's the goal. Now let's address a much harder skill than summarizing numbers. Giving polite feedback. This is where so many learners worry about sounding too aggressive or, too weak.
Our sources say that how you say something is more important than what you say. Feedback needs to sound like teamwork, not an attack.
Absolutely. We have to master the use of soft starters. You have to avoid direct criticism like, this is wrong, at all costs. Instead, you focus on the solution or the shared goal.
Let's dedicate some time to this. Can you walk us through an example? Say a colleague submitted a design that has a major flaw. What's the difference between bad feedback and good feedback?
Of course. This is really where cultural sensitivity is so important. Many cultures value saving face, avoiding embarrassment. Soft starters are a technique for that.
Okay.
So, level 1, aggressive. You say, this design is completely wrong, we have to start over. This just creates tension immediately.
Right, the other person gets defensive.
Level 2, timid or unclear. You say, I think maybe the design is okay, but I feel a little confused by the colors. It's probably just me. This avoids a fight, but gives zero useful feedback.
And then there's the professional way.
Level 3, professional soft starter. Here we focus on improvement, not the error. We use gentle words like maybe and could, for example. The overall concept is strong. Maybe we could try using a different color palette to make the final sections clearer.
The difference is huge. You started with a positive, the concept is strong, and then used maybe we could try. It focuses on the action, not the mistake.
Exactly. Let's practice some of those crucial soft starters slowly. Focus on that gentle, constructive tone. This part looks great. Always try to start with something positive. I think we can make this clearer. Focus on the solution. Make this clearer, not the problem.
I see.
Maybe we could add more examples. Using maybe and could feels collaborative. And finally, maybe we can change this section to focus on the numbers. It's so much softer than just demanding a change.
That's a fundamental shift. By using maybe and could, you're inviting collaboration, you're showing respect, and you're building trust.
Precisely. Politeness and words like maybe and could are essential tools for maintaining strong relationships while still giving critical feedback.
We've mastered reports and summaries. Now let's shift gears completely to the communication that happens, in between the big tasks.
Yeah.
Small talk.
Yes.
For many learners, this casual, unpredictable conversation can feel even scarier than a formal presentation. But it is the bridge to building good relationships and feeling truly comfortable at work.
You're so right. Small talk causes panic because it feels unplanned. But here's the secret. It requires the simplest words, not advanced English. Its only purpose is to be present and friendly, to build what we call relationship capital.
Relationship capital. I like that. It's not just wasting time.
It's not. It's the grease in the gears. It turns you from the silent coworker into someone people feel relaxed around and can trust.
Okay, so let's start with the beginning of the day. Morning small talk. What are the simplest, most effective phrases to open that door to a conversation?
You need simple greetings that invite a simple, low-pressure response. Remember, the simpler the question, the less pressure on you to understand a complex answer.
Makes sense.
Practice these easy good morning openers. Listen and repeat. Good morning, how's everything? And this one, the classic for every Monday morning. How was your weekend?
And the response, just like our summaries, needs to be short and simple. We're not sharing our life story in the hallway.
Absolutely not. The response should be quick and pleasant. Listen and practice these simple answers. Good, thanks. I relaxed at home. It was nice. I watched a movie.
But the conversation dies if we just answer and walk away, doesn't it?
It does. This is the most important part. You have to keep the conversation going by turning the question back to the other person. You show interest.
So always ask back.
Always. Listen and repeat these. How about you? And you?
That immediately balances the conversation. It's reciprocal. It keeps the flow going.
Now let's move to pre-meeting or office small talk. The conversation's in the kitchen, the elevator, or right before a meeting starts.
Yeah.
What are the universal, safe topics?
Well, our source material highlights the first international language of offices. Coffee.
Yes, coffee is gold. Everyone understands needing a break or some caffeine. Use simple phrases like this. Did you get your coffee yet? Or, have you had coffee yet? Another universal topic is the general mood or the weather. These are perfect because they require zero deep thought and just signal friendliness. It's really busy today, isn't it? It's really hot today.
I think we should add a third universal topic. The work itself, but talked about in a safe way. How do we talk about a project without giving away details?
That's a great, slightly more advanced small talk skill. You talk about the feeling of the work, not the actual data.
Okay.
Try this. I'm really focused on the launch today. Lots of details to check.
Oh.
It looks like we're making great progress on that report. You're acknowledging the shared reality of work without sharing anything sensitive. It signals camaraderie.
Another powerful tool is complimenting coworkers. This seems small, but it has to be simple and genuine.
Compliments are like fuel for goodwill. They create a positive office environment. Just use clear, direct language.
Let's practice a few.
Okay, some Simple compliments. Nice work on that presentation. Did
Yeah.
a great job with the report.
And what about the response? It's so important. I know a lot of learners, when they get a compliment, they say something like, oh, it was nothing, because they're nervous. Why should we avoid that?
Minimizing the compliment can sometimes make the other person feel awkward, like their observation was wrong. You need a confident, polite response that just shows appreciation.
So just accept it professionally.
Exactly. Listen and practice the perfect, confident response. Thanks, I appreciate it. Or this one, thank you, that means a lot. When you say that means a lot, it's just a warm way of saying, I'm really thankful for your kind words. It's confident, polite, and it concludes the exchange on a really positive note.
Time really does fly. Let's move to the final section of the workday. That moment, the closing of the day, that quietly shapes how others see your professionalism.
This part is so often ignored. People just close their laptop and walk out. But finishing work isn't just a physical act. It's about clear communication. Using clear, closing language shows responsibility and organization.
Okay, let's start with ending meetings and tasks. If you're running the meeting, how do you sound confident when you bring it to a close?
You need to use definitive, natural closing phrases. They signal that the conversation is finished.
Let's hear them.
Listen and repeat these closing phrases. Let's wrap things up. I think we're good for today. When you use phrases like these, you sound confident and organized. It's a clean stop, respecting everyone's time.
What if a coworker stops by your desk late, or you need to communicate that a task you're working on is paused for the day?
You use short, powerful updates. No long explanations. Just show responsibility. Practice these. I'll finish this before I leave. I'll send an update tomorrow morning.
That is extremely clear. It manages expectations perfectly.
And this leads us to the critical habit of simple goodbyes. In many professional cultures, especially in the U.S., walking out silently can feel a bit cold or unfriendly. Simple goodbyes build consistency and trust.
So let's practice those essential simple goodbyes.
They're very easy. Good job today. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening.
These short sentences are small investments, but they yield huge returns in creating a friendly, respectful environment.
They absolutely do. Now let's tackle a common challenge: handling unfinished work. When something isn't done, people tend to apologize too much or panic, especially if their English feels limited.
Right. We have to avoid apologizing too much. It can make you seem less professional. The goal is to show control, not panic.
Exactly. Use these professional phrases instead. They focus on the future plan. I'll continue this first thing tomorrow. That shows a clear, organized plan. Or, I need a bit more time. I'll update you in the morning. This sets a timeline for the next communication. It shows responsibility.
That sounds so calm and organized. It focuses on the solution, not the delay.
It shows control instead of stress. You manage the expectation.
We also need to cover saying no politely. This is often about declining a social invitation after work from colleagues, which can feel really awkward.
A very common scenario. You want to say no, but you must maintain that friendly relationship you've built. You don't need a detailed excuse. You just need a friendly refusal.
Okay, let's practice those.
Practice these gentle refusals slowly. Thanks for the invite, but I already have plans tonight. I can't make it today, but maybe next time.
That's perfect. You said no, but you sounded nice, and crucially, you kept the door open for the future with maybe next time.
That's the essence of it. You maintain the relationship while clearly communicating your availability. This whole section on closing the day is a perfect example of how simple, clear English creates a very high professional image.
This has been an incredibly productive deep dive. We've covered reading, summarizing, feedback, small talk, and professional closings. We have repeated things throughout, but now let's just take a moment to synthesize the main strategies.
Let's do a quick review of the key mindset shifts. These are the confidence builders. Strategy 1. Prioritize the gist. Stop trying for 100% translation. Embrace the context principle, and remember the clarity test. Is the word positive, negative, or neutral? That's your most powerful shortcut.
So it's about replacing panic with purposeful guessing. If you're stuck, just write the word down and keep going.
Strategy 2. The 3-step formula. Never write an unorganized email update again. Topic, key results, next steps. It ensures clarity every time.
Let's review those 3 sentences one last time.
Okay, listen and repeat. This report shows the progress of the current software build. That's the topic. Development is ahead of schedule. However, we found a few unexpected dependencies. Those are the results with the transition word. Next, we plan to review the dependencies before the weekend. And that's the next step.
That's the complete summary, ready to send.
Strategy 3. Softness is strength. When giving feedback, politeness is your professional tool. Always use soft starters. Never start with, "This is wrong." Instead, remember the tone of collaboration. Listen and repeat this soft starter that focuses on teamwork. I think we can make this clearer together.
Using together, or we, makes it a shared task, not a personal error.
Strategy 4. Reciprocal small talk. Small talk is simple. The secret is always asking the question back. You have to show interest.
That loop is the ultimate relationship builder.
Let's practice it one more time. Listen and repeat. How was your weekend? It was nice. Thank you. And you?
That synthesis helps the phrases feel natural, not just like memorized rules.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's give our listeners the definitive daily challenge. This is the key to turning this knowledge into a real habit.
Okay, well, for everyone listening, tomorrow I want you to try using 3 new English phrases from this deep dive at work. Just 3. Don't try to use 20.
3 specific phrases.
I'd suggest 1 from each category. 1, for reading. Use the positive-negative clarity test the moment you open a document. 2, for writing. Include, "Please let me know if you have any questions" at the end of your next email. 3, and for speaking. Say, "Good job today" to a colleague. Or use "Let's wrap up" to end a conversation.
That's a great, really manageable goal. 3 specific actions tomorrow.
Yes. If you practice a little every single day, very soon, English at work will feel natural. You'll be using it as a tool to achieve goals, not struggling with it as a subject, and your confidence will grow because you'll be operating effectively.
We totally agree. Thank you for sharing this incredibly practical and detailed advice with us. So we have completed our deep dive today. We've practiced strategic reading, structuring clear summaries, giving polite feedback, managing simple small talk, and closing the day like a pro. You now have the tools, the strategies, and the phrases to really boost your confidence.
And just remember that simple philosophy. Real English at work is about being polite, short, and clear. Don't chase big, fancy words. Chase effective communication that gets the job done and builds trust.
That message just resonates so strongly with what makes the English Uncut channel so valuable. It's practical application over academic theory. For our next deep dive, we are going to build right on this foundation. We'll be talking about polite professional phone calls and effective messages, how to sound clear and friendly when you can't even see the person's face. So everyone, please stay tuned and subscribe for that upcoming essential lesson.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to take into your workday tomorrow. Clear endings create better beginnings. When you use simple professional English to close your tasks, close your emails with confidence, and say a friendly goodbye, your work feels lighter. Communication feels easier, and your confidence grows naturally. This is not about achieving perfect English. It is about acting like someone who is entirely in control of their professional output. Control, clarity, and confidence. That is your goal.